Hello friends, today we discuss about consumer perception, unit 2. Consumer perception is a marketing concept that tells us what consumer or customer think about a brand or a company or its offering. It can be positive or negative feelings, perceptions, inhabitants or predispositions, expectations or experiences that a customer has. A marketing concept that encompasses a customer impression, awareness and or consciousness about a company or its offering. Customer perception is typically affected by advertising, reviews, public relations, social media, personal experiences, and other channels. If you understand the concept of consumer perception, you will figure out that it is arguably the most important factor that decides the success of a brand, product, or a company as a whole. How a particular brand or company is positioned also plays a vital role in this. The characteristics of a brand and its personality plays a big role. If we look at the company Apple, we can see that the company is positively perceived by most of its customers. In fact, there are die-hard fans for Apple brand. The reason being that the company has been repeatedly innovative. It has good performing products which make a connect with their customers. As a result, Apple is one of the consistently top performing brands across the world. Now, customer perception decides how much a product sells and how a company is perceived. Factors dealing customer perception that I discuss right now. In general, customer perception can be influenced by a lot of factors. Some of the major factors are consistency of performance, how has the brand performed in the past and how it is performing currently. Emotional connect. Super brands know that emotional connection with the customer is critical to brand development. Now, marketing communication. How the brand communicates with the customers using the various media vehicles. And fourth, the holistic marketing. A brand cannot be excellent if it has good sales staff but pathetic support staff. A brand has to be a good all rounder and satisfy customers from all its touch points. Always remember this. Now, motivation, personality, socio-economic factors, experiences, education, and media, marketing, that's perception's main point. So, importance of customer or consumer perception. Now I discuss in details. When customer buy your products, they purchase much more than physical objectives. Successful marketing involves building a brand with sensory and emotional triggers and then working daily to reinforce the image that your brand triggers in the hearts and minds of customers. The consumer perception that make or that can make or break your brand may be carefully cultivated through clever and effective advertising. Changes in consumers' perception of brands can also spring seemingly out of nowhere. as when the Hush Puppies shoes brand became a fad during the 90s with little engineering from the companies itself. Whether your company has uh, fostered customer perception or had the great fortune to unwittingly benefit from it, the importance of your brand's reputation should never be underestimated. Now, importance of marketing and action. Successful marketing is a process of reaching out to customer through advertising, selling strategies and the product itself to create an impression that inspires loyalty. However, that impression is unlikely to endure unless you work hard to maintain it. The outdoor apparel company Bean has a return policy of replacing any product that a customer or consumer returns for any reason, regardless of how long it has been worn. This policy surely cost the companies extra when unscrupulous or customers choose to take advantage and return items that have been worn for a considerable period of time. Over the long term, through this legendary return policy has worked to the company's advantage by building trust and extraordinary loyalty also. Now, influence of negative perception. Negative consumer perception can be at least as powerful as positive ones, especially in the era of social media when stories about companies' bad behavior spread quickly and can have devastating repercussions. When United Airlines had a ticket customer and dragged off a flight in April 2017, the story spread through the both social and mainstream media, creating a backlash from consumers who boycott the airline and cancel credit cards affiliated with it. The negative publicity rippled among shareholders as well, causing the company's price to plummet by $1.4 billion. Now, the power of referrals. Referrals are a powerful way to foster positive consumer perception because they often come about organically through customer telling their friends which products they buy and why they buy them, because they come from customer rather than from marketing or advertising. Referrals give your company genuine credibility. Referrals grow out the brand loyalty and generate additional loyalty to your brand. You can give customers incentives to make referrals, such as by offering free products or services. But if you have done a good job fostering positive consumer perceptions, you will get customer referrals whether or not you reward customer for them. Your company's brand is not only about what you want customers to see, it's also about how they already see you. Public perception can make or break a business today, making it the most valuable commodity you have in your sales and marketing arsenal. Now, the role perception. The idea of perception theory is often capitalized by haunted house and amusement parks. The visitors are forced to walk into a dark hour which is pretty small and claustrophobic. Visitors are led to a panoply of attractions that look and around or sound like the monsters and rodents and so on. All these to overwhelm our senses. This idea is to stimulate an uh, adrenaline rush which would then search through the patterns as they are focused to face their fears. The people who enjoy these things usually love the idea of conquering their fears, and they often find these experiences and exhilarating. However, this can be turned on this head, and if you are in the wrong neighborhood, and attractions in a haunted house could easily attract customers to a haunted house but could easily chase customers away from your storefront. As a business owner, you want to maximize the amount of time that customers spend in your stores. You want them to purchase an items on a whim and then go on a spree of impulse buying. You want them to browse your shelves or talk through your discovering and exploring with each step whether your store is a brick and mortar store or an online store. You want them to browse and buy so that you increase your sales. As a business owner, you should seek to improve their experience and give them the right perception no matter what. Now, using customer perception to your advantage. So, to get customer perception right, you should look into what turns your consumers on, so to speak, and then to use it to your advantage when you want to attract them. If you wish to attract high-end customers, then make a play on such things as quality, cleanness, and hygienic, and lighting, packaging, and general details in the way you present your products and services, and segments your customers into the different consumers groups they fall into, and use these groups to figure what is important to each group and what to show to different categories of customers. When you make an effort to improve consumer perceptions of your product, your bottom line will quickly reflect your hard-earned effort. You will also make your customers and your community feel as if they are part of your company or family, and there is no matter better recipe for brand loyalty than family. Now, consumer perception process and involvement. Three important stages involved in perception process. Number one, perceptual input. Number two, perceptual mechanism. And number three, perceptual outputs. Number one, perceptual inputs. A number of stimuli are constantly confronting people in the form of information, objectives, events, people, etc. in the environment. These serve as the input of the perceptual process. A few of the stimuli affecting the sense are the noise of their air coolers, the sound of other people talking and moving, outside noises from the vehicles, traffic, or a street repair shop, or a loudspeakers playing somewhere, plus the impact of the total environment situations. Some stimuli do not affect the senses of a person consciously, a process called sub, subliminal perceptions. Now, number two, perceptual mechanism. When a person receives informations, he tries to process it through the following sub processes by selections, organizations, and interpretations also. Now, perceptual selectivity. Many things are taking place in the environment simultaneously. However, one cannot pay equal attention to all these things. Thus, the need of the perceptual selectivity. Perceptual selectivity refers to the tendency to select certain objectives from the environment for attentions. The objectives which are selected are those which are relevant and appropriate for an individual, or those which are consistent with our existing beliefs, values, and needs. For these, we need to screen or filter out most of them so that we may deal with the important or relevant one. Now, the following factors govern the selections of stimuli. Number one, external factors. Number two, internal factors. So, external factors. Size. The bigger the size of the stimulus, the higher is the probability that is perceived. Size always attracts the attentions because it establishes dominance. The size may be the height or weight of an individual, sign board of a shop, or the space devoted to an advertisement in the newspaper. A very tall person will always stand out in the crowd. On the other hand, a very short person will also attract attention also. A full-page advertisement will always catch attentions as compared to a few lines in the classified section. Intensity. Intensity attracts to increase the selective perceptions. A few examples of intensities are yelling or whispering, very bright color, very bright and very dim lights. So intensity will also include behavioral intensity. If the office order says report to the boss immediately, it will be more intense and effective as compared to the office order which says make it convenient to meet the boss today. So two lines are very different, my friend. Now, repetitions. The repetitions principle states that a repeated external stimulus is more attention drawing than a single one. Because of these principles, supervisors make it a point to give the necessary directions and again to the workers. Similarly, the same advertisement or different advertisement but for the same product shown again and again on the TV will have more attentions as compared to an advertisement which is shown once a day. Status. High status people ran experts greater influence on the perceptions of the employees than the low status people. There will always be different reactions to the orders given by the foreman, the supervisors, or the production managers. Now, contrast. An object which contrasts with a surrounding environment is more likely to be noticed with the object which blend in the environment. For example, there exist signs in the cinema hall which have red lettering on the black ground, are attention drawing, or a warning sign in the factory such as danger written in a black against a red or yellow background will be easily noticeable. In a room, if there are 20 men or one woman, the woman will be noticed first because of the contrast. Now, movement. The principle of motion states that a moving object receives more attentions than an object which is standing still. A moving car among the parked cars catches our attention faster. A flashing neon sign is more easily noticed. Now, novelty and familiarity. This principle states that either a novel or a familiar external situations can serve as an attention getter. New objectives in the familiar settings or familiar objectives in new settings will draw the attentions of the perceivers, and the familiar face on a crowded railway platform will immediately catch attentions. Because of these principles, the managers change the workers' jobs from time to time because it will increase the attentions they give to their job. Nature. Nature we mean whether the object is visual or auditory, and whether it involves pictures, peoples, or animal. It is well known the pictures attract more attentions than word. The video attracts more attention than still pictures. A picture with human being attracts more attention than a picture with animal. Now, internal factors. The internal factors relate to the perceivers. Perceiving people is very important for a manager because behavior occurs as a result of behavior. Now, learning. Following are the internal factors which affect perception. First, learning. Although interrelated with other internal factors, learning may play the single biggest role in developing perceptual set. The perceptual set is basically what a person expects from the stimuli on the basis of his learning and experience relative to same or similar stimuli. This perceptual set is also known as cognitive awareness, by which the mind organizes informations and forms images and compares them with previous exposures to similar stimuli. A number of illustrations have been used by psychologists or demonstrate the impact of learning on perceptions. Now, personality. Personality traits influence how a perception selected. Perceptions, for instance, consistent or continuous pupils tend to select details or external stimuli to a greater degree. Motivations peoples will select perceptions according to what they need in the moment, and they will favor selections they think will help them with their current needs and be more likely to ignore what is irrelevant to their needs also. Experience, the pattern of occurrence or associations one has learned in the past affect current perceptions. The person will select perceptions in a way that fits with what they found in the past. Now, perceptual outputs. Perceptual outputs encompasses all that results from the throughout process. These would include such factors as one's attributes or attitudes, opinions, feelings, values, behaviors resulting from the perceptual inputs, and throughout perceptual errors also adversely affect the perceptual output. The lesser our biases in perception, the better our chances to perceiving reality as it exists, or at least perceiving situations with the minimum amount of distortions. So this will help us to form the right attitudes and engage an appropriate behavioral patterns, which in turn will be beneficial for attaining the desired organizational outcomes. It is essentially important for managers who are responsible for organizational results to enhance their skills in order to develop the right attitudes and behaviors also. So that's the end of the video, my friends. If you like my blogs or videos, please subscribe my channel blogs, and also comment, like, share my channel. Thanks a lot for watching.